Alright folks, welcome back to the Don's channel, and this is my predictions for round 2 of the 2021 AFL season. First up, Thursday 25th of March, Carlton versus Collingwood at the MCG. I'm going with Carlton. I like the way Carlton, I like what Carlton are trying to do. For anybody who is watching this, they'll probably go, what the hell are you talking about, Donfather? Carlton are epic fails every season. It's the same old story. They're saying they're going to win it and they fall well short of the mark. Well, I don't care what people say, and I try not to go with the grain too much. The inclusion of Sad from Essendon in that team is very exciting for me. Obviously, Sam Walsh, everybody knows his ability with Patrick Cripps. The Colonels, look, they have players that can change the game. It's just they don't do it enough on a consistent basis. I think Collingwood are struggling. I think Carlton can take positives from the Richmond game last Thursday. This time last Thursday they played, didn't they? So 2 Thursday games for Carlton, just the way it's worked out. I'm predicting a Carlton win anyway. 11 points. Not going to bang up on too much about who, what, where, when, why. Just bang. Carlton win. Friday, the 26th of March, Cats versus Lions. I think Cats will be licking their wins from the Crows' defeat last week, and I don't think they'll bounce back. But I think the Lions will bounce back from their huge defeat to the Swans. I think they possess more quality in the team that is more likely to do well this weekend. I think, obviously, Patrick Dangerfield's going to be missing 3 games. Cats, they frustrate me, the Cats, because they have the potential to be the best team in the AFL on their day, but also a very, very boring one to watch. You really don't know what you're going to get from one week to the other. All that I can say is I always predict the one thing with the Cats: inconsistency. Very much is the word for them over the last 2 years from I've watched this sport. They could go on a run and then boom, lose one, and then you think, alright, they'll win the next one, you think, maybe that's it again, then they'll lose again, then they'll win. It's all over the place, but I think they will be consistent this weekend and losing like they did last week against the Crows. It is at the GMHBA down there in Geelong, but I'm not too sure that matters. I'm going to go with the Lions win. Swans versus Crows at the SCG. This has the makings of a very good game. Crows should take confidence from that performance against Geelong. Very, very good. Some of the young players show no fear. Just play with confidence, play with a bit of bravery, and see what can happen. Likewise, the Swans, a couple of young ones. I mentioned Errol Gulden. I actually have another young gun, and I forget his name. Is it McDonald? Luke McDonald, I think it is. Maybe I'm wrong. For the Swans, I'm excited about him. I've got both of these young guys now in my super coach. I think both of them are going to rack up the points this year. Obviously, I've mentioned in my other video, Ton Papley. Everybody knows how much I admire Papley. Very good player. I'm going to go with the Swans. Ben Reid's back. I think he was injured quite a bit last year, if I can remember off the top of my head. But it's going to be a good game, I think. I'm looking forward to see what Crows turns up. I think the same Swans will turn up. I think they'll, because of the fashion in which they went out and won that game last week, I think they will probably take more confidence from the game. I think they possess a little bit more class in the team. I think there's a lot more rookies in the Crows, a lot more question marks about their team than the Swans, and I think that will see the Swans over. A little bit more experience and quality in their team, but I'm excited to see what type of Crows team turns up on that one. I will watch that one if it's not too early. If not, I'll catch the highlights. Back down to Adelaide Oval then. It's Port Adelaide versus Essendon. I'm not going to go on too much about this. Essendon lost by a point to the Hawks last week. Port victorious against North. Convincing win. I'm going with a Port win, and I think it's probably going to be quite a big margin again, like last week against North Melbourne. Essendon won't be anywhere close to this team. Port are the team to beat this year. Make no mistake about it. If they do something wrong this year and the wheels fall off the wagon, I will be shocked. That's how much I'm confident in Port this year. Port win anyway. St Kilda versus Melbourne. Two very similar teams. No nonsense footy, quite attacking, quite counter-attacking, and both possess a lot of quality in the final third of the footy field. This one should be exciting. I'm expecting quite a high scoring game, not necessarily a high points margin between the two teams, but a high scoring game, quite an attacking game of footy. St Kilda are a joy to watch. Melbourne are decent to watch on their day as well, but I'm going with a Saints win. I think they're the better footy team. This one's at the Marvel, possibly under the roof as well. That'll be a good spectacle for everyone who's at the game. If you're at that one, enjoy it. Should be a good one. Suns versus North End at the Metricon. This one's tough to call, but I think Suns have improved a lot over the last 2 years. I still think they have quality players in that team, even though Matt Rell will be out for a lengthy period of time. I think they still possess. They showed that they possessed enough in their team when this happened last year, when he had took a shoulder injury. And I think North are down there. They're down there with a. I think they're a big rebuilding job there at North, and it's just gonna look. I'm going with a Suns victory. I'm not going to go on too much about it. It's a Suns victory for me. That's what I'm predicting. Sunday then, 28th of March at the MCG. Hawks versus Richmond. Richmond were unbelievable at times against Carlton. Dusty, look, the man is a gun. A gun. A machine gun. He's incredible. He's incredible. If we see the Dusty that played against Carlton, this man will score 3 or 4 against the Hawks. I'm looking forward to seeing the Hawks. They had a competitive game against Essendon. You never know at this stage of the competition. Very early, teams are still a bit rusty. Dusty's certainly not rusty, but teams are a bit rusty at this stage. It takes a wee while for them to get to their competitive level. Takes a while for the new faces to gel with the old faces. Some young guns coming through. So you do get upsets at this stage, but I'm still going to go for my predictions. Richmond win at the MCG. Bulldogs versus Eagles at the Marvel. This is a tough game, very tough game. Eagles are a very good side, but I think the travel. Let's hope the Bulldogs can send the Eagles back to Western Australia with their tail between their legs, their feathers all ruffled, if you like. I'm going with Bulldogs win. Look, I think the Bulldogs midfield is up there with the best in the competition, if not the best. Honestly, just across the board, the quality that they have across the board in that midfield is frightening. I think what you could say about the Bulldogs last year is players like Bruce and stuff like that, Naughton got injured. The goal scorers, I think that is probably the area we were a little bit weaker was in the forward line. I think Bruce, he's got his 2021 campaign off to a good start. He kicked a lovely goal, nearly 50 metres out, and Astronaut looks like he's going to be in form as well. I am expecting a Bulldogs win anyway. I think it'll be a very competitive game. I wouldn't be surprised if it went either way, but I'm predicting Bulldogs. Freo versus Giants then. Like, on paper, people would probably say the Giants are the better side. I predict the Giants to not be as good. Certainly be not far away from the 8, but not be as good as they have been in the last 2-3 seasons. And Freo, probably something similar of what you've seen as well from Freo over this season as well. But look, I'm going with a Freo win. They are the home side, and I'm not convinced by the Giants whatsoever. Losing Jeremy Cameron is huge. It's a huge blow. 2 years ago, the Coleman medalist. They've lost that now. But Freo aren't as bad a side as you think. They are capable of getting big scalps. They just don't do it enough. I'm going with a Freo win. Just to recap then, my teams, my predictions. Carlton, Lions, Swans, Port, St Kilda, Suns, Richmond, Bulldogs and Freo. Mostly home wins I've went for, actually. With the exception of Richmond and the Lions, who both play away. Mostly home wins on that one. So let's see what happens. I got 7 out of 9 last week, round 1. It's always difficult to predict the early rounds. It's always difficult to predict anyway, but early rounds, upsets can happen, the unexpected can happen, but I'm really looking forward to round 2. I think it'll be I think it'll be better than round 1. I think you'll start to see players that they've got that first round to get settled in, to get used to it, to get used to the pace. I think I want to point out one thing: the 20-minute periods again is huge. It's huge. It's very, very good. Last year, of course, we had, was it 16 minutes? If teams took an early lead, it was very difficult for anybody trying to close that gap, any team trying to close that gap to do so, and you just ran out of time basically. But in this, you're starting to see comebacks, big comebacks, 40-point margins being overturned already, I think, in round 1. So look, we're going to see some quality footy again this year. More crowds back at the Victoria grounds, which is brilliant to see. Of course, Victoria spent a lot of last year with no crowds, nobody able to go to the games. Footy's back to nearly capacity, not 75% was it, I think I read, so nearly capacity. I'm sure for all those that go will be entertaining us with great volume and colour in the stands. Just a great atmosphere. It's just good to see footy being back in front of near capacity crowds, as well as in all states as well. Fantastic stuff. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Let me know what you think of my predictions. Let me know your predictions. If you aren't in the tipping comp, join it. I have done it on round 1. There's a link to that on the tipping comp on round 1's video. Check that out if I can find the link again. I always bloody struggle to get the link for that, to put it onto my description section. Check out the description section as well, guys, and as I say, don't forget to subscribe and fire the notifications bell on. Really looking forward to round 2. I don't know what you think, but Thursday's really catching me out, because it's difficult enough to see the Friday game, but for Thursday I just simply can't see them. So that means Carlton-Collingwood game. It's a game most neutrals would want to watch because of the rivalry between these two clubs, the long-standing rivalry. They both hate each other, make no mistake about that. That's going to be on a Thursday. Very difficult for me for the time the bounce happens. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm at my work, so very difficult. I get to see snippets of the game in breaks, but it's not enough to get an overall riding feeling of who's played well, etc. So what do you think of the Thursday games? Do you think they should stay, or would you happily see them change? I'm sure down under there's people working, or it's a bit awkward for many people down under as well, the Thursday game. It is a working day, so let me know what you think of that. It's just one of the things that I would like to see, maybe another weekend game to make it. Maybe it's just me being selfish and greedy and thinking of myself, but for me to be able to cover the game and watch the game and pick out players that have stood out and analyse certain things, certain teams, the style of footy, etc., it makes it a lot more difficult. Thanks very much everyone anyway. I'm not rabbiting on anymore, and I'll see you all soon. Stay tuned for review on round 2. I've got a reaction video for Garrett, one of my patrons. Thanks very much, and I'll see you all soon. Goodbye.